What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let's start this video with 11 weeks of physique update from Behrooz Tabani. So the first stop is gonna be Dubai Pro, where Behrooz Tabani is planning to defend his title. And that's the big one, because Dubai Pro this year, that is the third highest paying show of the year, with 140k in the prize money. And that is just for the winner. Now we know William Bonac, the guy who placed second behind Behrooz Tabani, he won't be competing in Dubai. But Nathan D'Asia, the arch rival of Behrooz Tabani, he has already announced that he will 100% be doing Dubai Pro. So coming back to Behrooz, that is some insane weight on Behrooz Tabani. And if his conditioning at 11 weeks out, it looks like that, he is gonna be absolutely ripped on the stage, and there is no doubt about that. The man is always top notch in terms of condition. In every single show he enters, we just do not have to worry about Behrouz's conditioning. Ever since this guy turned pro, there hasn't been a single show where Behrooz Tabani was even a tiny bit off. Now we are talking about a guy who would have placed top 6, or at the very least top 7, at this past Miss Olympia, if he was just allowed to travel to the US. But hopefully this is the year when that is finally gonna happen, and we are finally gonna get to see Behrooz Tabani on Miss Olympia stage after 4 long years. So after Dubai Pro, Behrooz is also doing Italy Pro, the same show, where he beat Nathan D'Asia. And there is some bad news for all these guys who are trying to get their Olympia qualification, especially in June, because all these shows, Dubai Pro, Italy and Portugal, they are just 1 week apart. So do not be surprised if Behrooz Tabani decides to enter Portugal Pro as well, and maybe end the season with a hat-trick. Now Behrooz Tabani has been adding size, slowly, but his waistline, that is still looking the same. And the man has been getting more and more dangerous with every passing year. And if he steps on that Miss Olympia stage this year, he will for surely be in the mix to place top 6. But do let me know what you guys think. So the comparisons of good Vito's physique, they have already started with the reigning Arnold champion and the former Miss Olympia, Derek Lansford. And here we are looking at the strongest shot of good Vito, the front double biceps, versus Derek in that same shot from this past Arnold. Now good Vito is certainly beating Derek in some areas. For instance, the quads, definitely has bigger quads. He has better bicep peaks, but you just cannot deny the structural superiority of Derek, with the way his midsection is looking so nice and tight. He also has a better flow from lats to the waist. And do not forget, that is just one shot, and Derek's back. And not just the back double biceps, but the back lat spread, both of the back poses. They are lights out, and even his side shots, they were absolutely insane, with the kind of detail that he was able to bring at this past Arnold. Now Derek is just 31 years old, and good Vito is 27. So we are having this discussion of good Vito versus Derek, and Vito giving a tough time to Derek, even in 1 or maybe 2 mandatories. That itself, that is a huge accomplishment. So good Vito isn't in a place in his career where he can give Derek a run for his money. But I have got to say it's just a matter of time for him. This guy has already established that he can bring an insane level of conditioning. And that goes front to back, top to bottom. And after Pittsburgh Pro, he's gonna have another mini off season before he starts getting ready for his Olympia debut this year. Now good Vito was around 9 pounds heavier on this past Arnold Brazil stage compared to last year. He was 247 pounds. So even after making his pro debut, he was able to pack on quite a lot of muscle, a lot of mass. So cannot wait to see him at this year's Pittsburgh Pro, as this is gonna be such an insane battle. Who else thinks that good Vito should bring back that vacuum in his front double biceps, the same way he was doing at last year's Detroit Pro? Guys, we have a limited time offer. If you buy any flavor of Bloodshot, you are gonna get a free Dying Breed t-shirt. The discount code is on the screen right now, and use the code FAZI10 to get 10% extra discount. Kind of seems like Nick Walker has nothing to hide this year. The man has been releasing new physique updates every week now. So previously, we were looking at fasted morning check-ins, and now, those post-workout fully pumped up look. They look so damn good, and we have to keep in mind, we see some of the best pictures from most of these pros immediately after the workout. And that is why this look is so difficult to duplicate on the stage. And this is something that most of these pros are always chasing throughout their careers, to bring that rock hard and fully pumped up look that they have in the gym. Now I have got to say the most impressive picture out of all of these. That is probably the front double biceps. So much mass, so much density, and those bicep peaks. They are some of the best in the world, and that is the area where Nick beats Derek in this particular shot. So a whole lot of questions will be answered in less than 5 weeks' time at this year's Pittsburgh Pro as Nick Walker's back. That is against the wall, being 100% unbiased. We can all agree that Nick Walker has less margin for improvements in his overall physique compared to someone like Martin and even Derek because of the kind of structure that Nick Walker has. The thing is, there is only so much muscle that Nick Walker can pack on his frame. So last year, he tried to come in heavier and he got the feedback from the judges to keep his waistline in check because even though his quads were bigger from the front, but at the same time, his waist was also wider. So at the very least, Nick has to place runner-up here at this year's Pittsburgh Pro to keep the discussion going on whether or not Nick Walker on his day can potentially win the Olympia, maybe down the line in the future. Now he himself admits that his career is on the line here, and that is why Nick is gonna do everything in his power to show up at his all-time best at this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro. So Martin-Fitzwater is trying to stay very covered up throughout this prep. He has mostly been posting throwback updates from his prep from 2024. Now this right here, from Prop Pro, which Martin was expecting to be a better look than the Olympia, but he tore his hamstrings on the stage. And all the critics feel that his Olympia look, that was the best. That was something else altogether. Now this picture is from the Olympia, and this alone proves that Martin had some of the best quads in that Miss Olympia lineup last year. Now Martin knew that Prop Pro look isn't gonna be good enough to challenge a guy like Nick Walker. So him skipping the Arnold and also FIBA Germany, that was after all the right call because Martin is gonna have that same small waistline as he had last year. He just needs to be a bit more wider and a bit more bubbly, especially in his upper half. And based on his physique update that we saw from him at this past Detroit Pro, that is certainly gonna be the case. Now the one weakness that we saw in Martin at this past Detroit Pro when he was having a pose down with the reigning Miss Olympia Samson Dauda, that was his back double biceps, and it kind of seemed like that Martin was unable to open up. And Stefan, his coach, he also talked about that in one of the episodes of Bodybuilding and the Bollocks. And in the most recent story of Martin, he is actually trying to improve his mobility so that he can open up a bit better, especially in that back double biceps. Now will Martin continue to diet for another 5 to 6 weeks after this year's Pittsburgh Pro and also go for Dubai Pro as well, because this was initially his plan? Or will he end the season right there after Pittsburgh and focus on putting on more muscle, more mass, and focus on just one show, the Olympia this year? Now that is the big question. Now Martin was very realistic about his goal for the Olympia this year. The first goal was to make some money, and to do that, he must do Dubai Pro. And second of all, he wants to be in the top 3 at the Olympia this year. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.